שלום, זה עברית בלוח, האלפבet, אותיות א' עד ה'. Hello, Shalom. This is Blackboard Hebrew, a series of 5 videos illustrating everything you need to learn the Hebrew alphabet, or Alefbet, including how to recognize the letters, name them, write them, and hear and speak them. I hope you'll find this series helpful as you embark on your adventure of learning biblical or modern Hebrew. So without further ado, O Natchil, let's begin. The first letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Aleph. Aleph. The standard Hebrew script is called the square script, which means simply that each letter fits itself more or less into a square box like this. Now, just like with English, Hebrew can be printed with many fonts, and the one that I'm using here, called SBL Hebrew, is a standard book font. But I'm going to teach you how to write each letter with a simple handwritten block script that doesn't include all the serifs and squigglies. Aleph is written with just 3 strokes, a diagonal and 2 shorter strokes. I'll diagram each letter for you like this, showing the order and direction of each stroke, but then I'll use the chalk to let you see the letter written, like this. 1, 2, 3. You might want to pause the video at this point and practice writing Aleph on your own a few times. Now let's turn our attention to the sound of the letter. There are actually 2 more or less silent consonants in Hebrew, and Aleph happens to be one of them. Instead of making its own sound, it just takes the sound of the vowel that follows it. Here are a couple Hebrew words that begin with the letter Aleph. Ani. Ani. Af. Af. And that's the letter Aleph. Next we have Bet. Bet. Bet is written with 2 strokes, one that curves around the right side, and then a base. Here's what it looks like with chalk. 1, 2. Notice that the base of the letter Bet sticks out past the right side of the box. You'll want to pay attention to that because it'll help you distinguish Bet from some other letters that have a similar shape. Bet is also one of the 3 letters in the Hebrew alphabet whose sound changes depending on whether or not it has a little dot in it. That little dot is called a dagesh, and if it's present in Bet, then Bet makes a hard be sound. But if there's no dagesh, it makes a soft ve sound. Here are a couple examples. Bait, bait, and one with the soft bet, av, av. And that's bet. Next up, gimel, gimel. Gimel is one of a handful of letters that are narrower than the rest. They only use about half the box. And it's written with 2 strokes. One that wraps down like this, and then a foot coming off. Here's what it looks like to write it with chalk. 1, 2. Gimel makes the sound ge, ge. As in, gibor, gibor, or gal, gal, galgal. Gimel. That brings us to Dalit. Dalit. Dalit is simple to write. It just has a long cap at the top and then a vertical line down. Here's how you write it. 1, 2. Just like the letter Bet, Dalit also sticks out past the right side of the box, on the top this time. Again, notice that because there are a couple other letters that look a bit like Dalit, and this will help you distinguish it from the rest. Dalit makes the sound de, de, as in dag, dag, or devash, devash. Dalit. Finally, in this lesson, we have the letter Hey. Hey. Hey is written with 2 strokes, one that wraps around the right side, and then a short upright that leaves a little gap at the top. Here it is written. 1, 2. Hey makes the breathy sound heh, heh, as in hevel, hevel, or heichal, heichal, hey. So in this lesson, we've learned the first 5 letters of the Hebrew Alefbet: Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalit, and Hey. I hope this has been helpful to you, and always remember, love your Hebrew.